Hello students, how are you all? I hope all of you are fine and safe and are doing your work well. So in this video we'll be discussing about our third chapter, that is working with MS Access 2010. MS Access 2010 is basically written because this is a part of MS Office 2010, that is Microsoft Office, and one sub application is there, that is Microsoft Access, right? 2010 is the version, that's why they are mentioning here. And if you don't have that MS Office 2010, it's okay if you are installed with MS Office 2007. So all are same, right? But some minor changes there which we are not covering in this chapter. So what we are covering is our databases, right? And that can be done in MS Access 2007, or if you are having a higher version of 2010, then also you can use it, right? So because that will be covered too. So let's get started without wasting our time, right? So as you can see on your screen that learning in this chapter is given to you, right? So learning in this chapter, so in this video we'll be only dealing with what is a database and what types of databases are there, right? And what is the structure of a database. So we'll be covering three topics in this video, okay? So let's get started with what is a database. Before understanding what is MS Access 2010, that is basically application software which a user used to install. What is a database? A database is an organized way of storing information. Yes, it is very helpful because a database is a kind of entity which you can see on your systems and can be installed or created by the user, right? Just for the purpose of storing information. Information can be anything, your raw data, some examples are given here. Telephone diary, dictionary, maintaining a list of students and their addresses, keeping their records pertaining to academic, right, and co-curricular achievements. So let's come with the telephone directory first. So telephone directory is basically I don't know whether you have seen the telephone directory or diary, because these are two entities. I am telling the telephone directory first. When we were having the landline phones, right, telephones, that is obviously by BSNL because that is the old most company which is providing the landline telephones, the T lines, which is whenever a user is applying for any of the landline telephone, they used to give them telephone directory where the Ludhiana region is covered, right? One book is there, a bigger book, right, where the person who is already owned those telephones, right, the landline numbers, it's already there, like which area. Like suppose we are taking about Guru Nanak Nagar, so the person, the people who are living in the Guru Nanak Nagar, if they are having the landline phone numbers, the names and the telephone numbers are already there in the telephone directory, okay, in that book. And different areas, they are having the numbers and all, right? So it will be easy for a person to find out the telephone numbers. Now mobile numbers are the mobiles are a bit different from telephones because mobiles are running on a different technique, right, a wireless technique, but the landline phones were working on a T lines, the telephone lines. Okay, telephone diary, or suppose you are creating a diary, right, and you are writing down or you are penning down the names of your relatives, your family members, or your friends, right? So you will be writing down the names and all. The traditional method is you are having a telephone diary, right, the physical which you can touch or see, and you are writing down with a pen, pencil, or whatever instrument you will be using. That is old technique. But now in this you will be writing the names with the serial number, kind of columns you'll be creating. First is the serial number 1 2 3 4 5 6, then the names, right? You can create different categories. So this table belongs to my relatives, this table belongs to my family, right? This table belongs to my what do we say, the friends and all, right? The friend circle, where you'll be having your n number of friends, family members, relatives, right? So you'll be having full-fledged detailed database with you. So that is known as telephone diary, right? A dictionary, you can see already a dictionary, right? You have seen the offline dictionary, that is the Oxford dictionary, pocket dictionary, which you used to have in your pockets and all, or the bigger one, right? Next is the online dictionary, which is known as the Wikipedia or encyclopedia, which you used to visit often. Maintaining a list of students and their addresses. So suppose a list of students and their addresses, this belongs to a student, the school, right? So school used to keep every student's record with them, either in the form of basically we are dealing with both the techniques, that is the traditional one and the newer one. The traditional one means we are having the registers, we are taking the forms from the students, those who want to take admission in the school, and that is in a traditional method, right? And opposite to that, we are having the another method, that is online method, which where they are saving the records of the students in systems, in computers, or they have made a server for that, right? In the form of rows and columns, a kind of table they are maintaining, right? Next is keeping the records pertaining to academic and co-curricular achievements. This is also best example, right? How the database is being utilized for academic and co-curricular achievements data, right? How the school is recording, or how the school is saving the records for the students, those who are like in the form of academic or the co-curricular achievements. Like suppose any activity is there like 2 days after, so they'll be creating a small database, right, where the serial number will be there, or the participants' names, right, the father's name, mother's name, their the phone number, contact number, where they can contact, right? What is the name of the activity, what will be the time duration for that activity, when is the activity. So these all things are covered in a small database where they used to create it. Next is the list of groceries in a grocery store. Normally a person used to go to a grocery stores and they are buying some grocery things, right? And after that, when you are checking out from that grocery store, you used to have that list with you, which a cashier is there, and a QR scanner, a machine is there where he or she used to just scan or punch that goods, whatever you have purchased, or grocery packets and all, whatever you have purchased. So, and then after that, a printed slip is there, that is known as small database, right? That is a list of groceries. Catalog in a library, whenever you used to go as a student, you used to go to library to search out any of the book, or you want to issue some sort of book. So they have, the librarian used to have a catalog which is already made, like before starting of the year they used to make it, and they just have that catalog with them, and whosoever is coming in the library, he or she wants to search any of the book, they used to see from the catalog and tell them the Almira name, Almira number, where the book is placed. So it is easy to identify, right? So next is list of customers in a bank. So we, as in a bank, there are n number of customers where bank is solely responsible for maintaining the record of their customers names, right, their father's name, mother's name, the PAN card, whatever proof of identity, proof of address they have submitted there, right? And what is the account number generated, is either it is a saving bank account or a current account, right? So these all things are saved or recorded by the bank for the customers. And next is maintaining employees information in offices and organizations. Okay, so let's take an example of school and some MNC company where a school used to hire teachers for the students, right, for the studies. And they used to those are actually acting as employees for that organization. And they are maintaining record of a teacher, what is the name of the teacher, right, what is the employee ID of the teacher, right, or that employee ID of any of the employee, the father's name, mother's name, contact address, contact numbers and all. And what else we can add in here, the salary package which they'll be having, right, what kind of experience, how much experience they've grabbed till now, what are their key skills, right, their educational information, right, the professional informations. All these things are covered in in a database where the organization and the offices used to create these databases for saving the employees records. These are the popular examples of different types of databases, right? So let's go ahead. What is next here? So it is very difficult to maintain a database manually when there are hundreds and thousands of records, as the chances of committing errors increase. Definitely when we are opting for old traditional things, old traditional technique, that is writing down the names and all on a register or some bigger registers or the notebooks, the chances of errors gradually increase, because there can be a chance, because you will be writing without having a break in between, right? You have a number of or hundreds of thousands of names to write down, and after that on a daily basis or on weekly or on fortnightly you used to complete that traditional manual database. It is a bit difficult. So a computerized record keeping system is a collection of programs that enables you to store, modify and extract information from a database known as DBMS. Now the term DBMS is here. DBMS stands for Database Management System. Basically database management system, here this is the software, right, and in DBMS we have n number of softwares, right? This is a term. Under this term we have n number of softwares created, right, for different organizations according to the requirement of the customer can be a bigger company, MNC company, right, or the school. The DBMS, this system is some companies are there which are dealing with the DBMS softwares, which they are providing this is basically a service which is provided to the MNCs, right, to the organizations or small scale or the large scale organization, or to the schools even, right, or the educational institution. So next is, it saves our time and energy. Definitely it saves time and energy, because you used to just sit on a system and you'll be if you are proficient in typing, it will take a very less time to complete your database, to entering the data, right, in a database management system. Moreover, to a great extent, it reduces the chances of errors creeping into the databases. So whatever errors are committed by the user is overcome here, because it reduces the chances of errors, right, in a database. Because we'll be discussing about the features of database, where how we are reducing the errors of how we are reducing the database will be covered there. I'll tell you one, that is data redundancy, means duplication of data. Suppose I have written in my manual database a name is Sumit Sedana, right? After 50th entry, that is 51st, if I again write down Sumit Sedana, because if you are writing a lot of names, the mind is not working like that, which will be memorizing each and every name. It will keep on telling you, okay, I have already written this name. So you keep on checking again and again whatever you have written with the pen. You keep on comparing with those 50 whenever you are writing like the names are after, right? And can be, two names, employees, same name can be there for 2 or 3 employees. So it is bit difficult for a manual database to handle these kind of, discrepancies. So it is very easy for a DBMS kind of softwares where these kind of errors creeping into database can be overcome. So therefore data handling using DBMS becomes fast and efficient. Yes, data handling, this term is known as data handling, like comparing, reducing the chances of errors, kind of duplication errors. These are called data handling. Using the DBMS becomes fast and efficient because it used to prompt you, okay, the name is already written. If it is the same name, just delete it. If it is the another name, just add some more things so that you make it a unique one, right? So make the entry unique. I hope this database term is clear to you. So we are switching to our next topic, that is types of databases. So there are mainly 2 types of databases. I know this on the screen it is a little blur here, but it can easily be read. So flat file database and the relational database. So a flat file database refers to data files that contains records which have a small fixed number of fields without any structured relationship. For example, Microsoft Excel. I'll show you what is that. I'm writing Excel here. Okay, it's not. Okay, so Excel, I'm opening it. I'll tell you what is a flat file database. That is a simple database which I've already seen, that in the form of rows and columns. Okay, open. It is taking time to open that Excel. Okay. Okay. So it is open now, right? So you can see this is Excel, and this is known as row, this is known as column, right? So we have A column, B, C, D, and so forth, and we have the rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are rows. So this is a flat file database, right? So where without any structured relations. So there is no relationship because we have here sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3, right? If you will be writing here, this is one table, this is another table, this is the third table, right? So there will be no relationship between this because this is one file, right? Okay, I am making this. I just want to demonstrate one what is relational database here. Okay, suppose this is the third table and this is, okay, sorry, second and third, 3 tables are there, right? But see the difference. These 3 tables which we have created in our mind, that is 3 tables, right? But this is the one sheet, right? But the software is not allowing these tables to become 3 tables, but this Excel is telling them this is a range, okay, range of cells. So that is the flat file database problem. I'll tell you the relational database too here. Okay, let me open. So this was a flat file database, right? So next is relational database. So relational database stores data in several tables and link those tables together to get a common piece of information. For example, Microsoft Access, Microsoft SQL, Oracle, etc. So relational database is one which I was telling, right, which is not a flat file database. In flat file database you have only one sheet where you have a number of range, the cells, not the different tables, right? But in relational database you have different tables with you, right? You can create n number of tables there. You can make a relationship with both the tables. Suppose in one table you are having roll number, name and marks, and in other you are having roll number, father's name, mother's name, and you can correlate with the roll numbers, right? That was relating to the tables, right? That is known as relational database. Okay, so next is structure of a database. A database contains a specific structure to store data, right? So let us study about some basic terminologies used in a database that will help us in getting acquainted with the functioning of database. So here they'll be telling about what is the structure of a database, how those databases are being created, and in which structure they are being created. Because when we are talking about a database, that will be a structured query language. Okay, SQL, we used to say that. Okay, so let's start. So our first is tables. So the database in the form of tables, right? First, tables are the building blocks of a database. Yes, we all know that, right? They store the complete data in a structured manner. That also we to know that, because the table is in the form of organized manner, in a structured manner, where it is already in a sequential form, in some sort of sequence, or we have already filtered or sorted out our data, and that is in the form of the rows and columns. Yes, we know that every table has a finite number of rows and columns. So table is not the infinite table, right? Because it's not at infinity, because we have finite number of rows and columns. Otherwise the table will be bit bigger, which is very difficult to handle, and it is better to create small tables and make a relationship with them. Because when you are creating only one table, if that got corrupted, your all data, the whole data will be corrupted and can be lost, right? So it is better to make some small building blocks of a database in the form of small tables. Just create a relationship between those tables, so that it can be a finite number of rows and columns. Next is elements of a table. So in elements of a table, we have first fields, records and data. So these three basic elements, these three pillars are basically the pillars of a table, right? I'm demonstrating that the figure is given here. So you can see the table. First column is roll number, next is F name, F underscore name. See, I'll tell you the difference between F name and F underscore name. Okay, next is English, maths, Hindi. Okay, so this is a table name is students, and you can see fields. What are fields? Basically all the columns in a table are called fields. Means the columns are roll number column, F name column, English, maths, Hindi column. So these are known as fields of a table. Okay, a field describes a specific attribute of all the records in a table as shown in figure 3.1. This is figure 3.1. Okay, so for example, the field that mentions the roll number of a table students will store the roll numbers of all the students. So the field roll number which is mentioned in table students, right, will be storing all the roll numbers of the students. Okay, next is records or records, which you used to say. The rows in a table are called records. These are the records. We have three total number of records here, right, which is dealing horizontally. A record contains the values for all the fields that belong to a single person or an entity. So this is the table of a students. Okay, so first is roll number 1. Roll number 1 consists of the name is Sandeep, and the marks obtained by Sandeep in English subject is 89 and 79 in maths, and so 60 in Hindi. Okay, next is second roll number. So the record basically contains the values for all the fields that belong to a single person or an entity, right? Entity is also a one unit, Nitin or Sandeep. This is a person or an entity, right? We can say that because these are all fixtures one we have imagined and we have written here. Next is data. You can see that data is basically the values inside those cells in a table. Deepthi, Nitin, Sandeep, 90, 88, 80, 65, 89, 77, 70, 60. These all are the data which is representing some sort of valid value, that is known as a data. Okay, So this is also known as a valid value, or you can also known as you can also um, called it as a data. Okay, so next element. Okay, so these all three elements were there of a table. The next database, the second structure is queries. A database stores vast amount of data, but queries helps us to retrieve the filtered data based upon some conditions. Okay, suppose you have a bigger data, or take an example of some social networking site, right? That is also working. At the back end, the database is created for all of us. So suppose let's take an example of Gmail. So Gmail is owned by Google, right? Google Mail. We are inputting user ID and password there. Okay, after logging in, we came we directly navigated to our inbox. Okay, what if you want to search any mail from your account, Gmail account? What you will be doing? You'll be scrolling down and checking. No, that is too old technique to search. Now we have a search box at the top of it, right? You might be searching from the search box, like Google search box is there, right? Whenever you're searching anything, you just write down in the search box and it is shown in front of you. Similarly to that, queries are also working on a searching technique, right? So whatever data you want to retrieve or fetch, you can take it, you can get it or fetched it by writing some words in the search box and click on the search button, and whatever that is query from your side. That means you are querying for some words, right? You want to search something, you are finding something, that is a sort of query. Similarly, in a database, you are putting queries there because this is a structured query language. So tables are in a structured manner, database in a structured manner, right? You are putting queries to search out some specific data. So that is in the form of queries you will be searching out, right? Queries are also used to perform actions such as delete, update, alter. These all are the actions basically. In a queries you can do it, you can alter the data, you can delete the data, right? You can append the data. Means you have written something like till 10 and you want to continue after 10, that is appending the data from 10 on the data based upon some criteria, some conditions. Okay, so next structure is the forms, in the form of forms. Forms are basically the user friendly interfaces that facilitate the process of entering data in tables and queries. Okay, you might have seen whenever you are visiting any sort of website, if you want to contact that website, the businessman, or you are aligning your interviews, or you are you want to put some query there, you want to ask something, then they are having a contact us portion, right? Yeah, that you must have seen, contact us. Even in our school's website, we have that form created there. So where it will be, let me show you that just. Okay, so this is the form which I was talking about. So on our school's website, I went to I clicked here on the contact us. Now I'm having a contact us page here with me, right? Where I'm having this inquiry form, right? Your name will be your email ID, contact number, subject, your message, and the capture. Then you will be submitting, and ultimately this inquiry form, whatever you'll be writing, it will come directly to us in our email ID, school's email ID, right? So this is a kind of form in a database where you'll be saving it. I'm just telling you the layout of this box and the labels, but in the forms we have n number of options there, like you want to come next, you want to go next, previous, stop, pause, add, delete. These all will be there, right? Next are the reports. Reports are used to display the selected data in a printable format. Suppose you have already created forms, you have already created a database, and now you want to generate a report. That is with the help of reports, right? So report collect the summarized data from one or more tables or queries and organize it in a printable form. Okay, so this was the simple 4 parameters of structure of a database. I hope you understand it. So in next video we'll be discussing about what is Microsoft Access. Okay.